Okay, this is Raymond Santiago. I am bringing a little bit of variation of Plena. I've been trying to keep it as traditional as possible. It's important that we know we have to go back quite a few years, 400 years back, during the time of slavery. The slaves came to Puerto Rico and they brought so many beautiful rhythms of different parts of Africa, and the resources they had was they were the slaves working, doing all the hard work, carrying all the tea and because they used to trade, and so the barrels they could have been tea barrels, rum barrels, any kind of barrel. As long as it was a barrel, then they put a skin on it, and it became what we know now as a barrel to play bomba. And it's important that we realize that a lot of the bomba and plena, both, they were the newspaper. They were the news. They were something happened in the community. Somebody had an argument late at night and got drunk, and they'll make a song out of it. And if you listen carefully, you knew what was going on in the community. But not only that, but when the slaves brought it, it was also a form of playing and celebrating and bringing families together and having families coming out as a community. That village that we speak so much about here in the United States. Well, that really was part of the culture of Puerto Rico. It came because of the tribal influence of this unity that we cherish. And we're trying to hold on to, we're trying to bring it back, because it's going to be medicine for our nation to bring these cultures and that to enrich us. And it's very important to realize they came from African slaves. Plena was a way of announcing things that happened. It was a way of dealing with a down feeling of depression. It was a way of expressing themselves to feel important. A lot of the slaves would play, and they weren't really allowed to play just because the slave drivers wanted them to celebrate. It was a rebellious act. It was also part of their identity and feeling important. So playing these rhythms allow them to feel the humane part, valuing ourselves and giving ourselves an opportunity to express ourselves, because we were so oppressed. And it was, such an unhealthy and brutal environment, really. But regardless of how brutal it was, the resilience of our people playing and getting dressed up. And I just love the fact that they even took the opportunity to make even fun of the slave driver by dressing up. The master, they would imitate their dancing, or their way of being, their body language, and that's an influence in our Plena and bomba. So in some ways, this is a part of that influences our music and our dancing, that comes from we couldn't at times speak directly to them. Most of the time we weren't even allowed to speak and look at the eyes of a master that was in charge. So we chose dressing up and making gestures that would express even the body language and even some of their own dancing, like the Dutch, for example. Some of the dancing is actually mimicking the Dutch, which is in Spanish the holandeses. And so Plena became this tool. This tool is like, wow, what can we do? Well, we can express ourselves. We can say how we feel. We can express our pain, our suffering. We can announce what's going on in the community, because when someone would pass, or they would even, however he passed, many times in brutal ways, but as part of the we do funerals and we would celebrate. It was even playing dominoes. It was part of the African culture. Jumping the broom, part of the African culture. Just so many things. that feels so good to know. And then when you play, you realize this has been played for hundreds of years, and it has helped us to develop to who we are. Actually, Plena and bomba were used to confront even leaders and their injustice. Whatever injustice there were, how we have sometimes we have these people who come out and we do we call protesta, right? So we're speaking, against the injustice, and Plena and bomba are both known for that. It was a form of expressing the injustice that was being done, and it was being confronted by the rhythm and the singing. So that's important to know. I'm going to do a little bit of video of Plena to kind of get the atmosphere going, and you can get a sense of the sound of Plena. Enjoy it. Get to hear a group, and I'll play along with it. So the main or the chord rhythm for the Plena is Yes, a little bit of Plena. Whew. I feel like I could be in Africa right now. It's so hot. Or Puerto Rico. So it's a simple kind of beat in some way, but sometimes simple beats are the complicated ones. And even in string guitars, it seems like the simple beats are the ones that become pretty famous. So simple beats seem to be what's dominant when it comes to, the most popular songs and stuff like that. And so it's important to know that at least a little bit of, we can learn a little bit about the piano, at least how to play it a bit. And of course, we're imitating three other drums what we're doing with congas is what three other people would do, the traditional drum. So that complicates it a little bit, but it's also a lot of fun, and we just appreciate that we can at least get close to what Plena really is, the traditional player with these two conga drums, because we can still enjoy our culture and the rhythms and the joy that it brings us. It's important to know that your strong hand, which is, it can be your left or your right, it's just a steady beat. Actually, it's simple. It's keeping 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, it's based on the clave. So our Latin music is based more on clave and 3-2 or 2-3. Cuba uses a lot of the music is 3-2, and Puerto Rico is 3-2, and we 2-3. 1, 2, 3. So anyway, we'll keep that steady beat, and this hand does all the accents and all these. Now there is some African beat that is super close to Plena. The only difference that I saw in an African beat, playing with African friends of mine through the years, they would do this. And really, that's the beginning of Plena. It sounds like I'm about to play Plena when you hear it. And then when I heard the Plena from Puerto Rico compared to the African rhythm that I heard, that was traditional, with different parts of Africa, I saw that steady beat, and I saw the slow. And then when I heard the Plena is. So it plays that beat. But then when it comes to Puerto Rico with the Plena, it adds this little, it's like an impulsive rhythm. It makes you want to dance. It kind of makes you want to move a little bit. Like, wow, what a nice rhythm to your body automatically wants to move with it, right? And you can actually feel there's certain rhythms that will calm you down and make you relax, and sometimes you feel you can even fall asleep to some improvisations of slow rhythms. But the Plena rhythm has this little impulse to it that kind of urges you a little bit and prompts you to want to dance. And even if you know how to dance Plena, now you just feel like we want to move to it. And that's one of the beauties I like about Plena, that it actually gives you that desire, that energy of wanting to dance. So yes, it is a rhythm for dancing. So I wouldn't get tired of playing it. I can play that part for hours. And so it's important that you remember that it's a steady beat. I kind of broke that pattern a couple of times, but I was just doing my own thing, improvisations and stuff. But it's a steady beat. You're trying to keep that beat. That beat stays there. That left hand. So you can imagine, like if one side of the drum, like the middle of the drum, you kind of in your mind make it a separate drum, and then at the edge of the drum where it makes the lower sound, in your mind you can imagine if it was like a different drum. So that way when you learn this technique of slapping and playing an open hand, a closed hand slap, you can do it better if you can imagine. Okay, let me play the different sizes of the drum like they were different drums, because it sounds different, so it helps sometimes to think of it that way. That's one drum, and this is another drum. So if you kind of have fun with it that way with your imagination, then you'll enjoy learning how to play. Hopefully, a lot more. So it's important to know that it was a form of communicating, of drum language. Uh, we kind of understand each other when we play the drum. We know what part of it or what's really going on because we have drum language. It is also communicate news in the community and informs the people. Also for dancing, for so many things, so many influences, even when it comes to the strings that have been added on and trumpets and all that. Well, Spain also has an influence, and all our music of the Caribbean has a story of history in it. So I just shared this little basic uh, beat and information. Hopefully, you got something out of it, and I got a lot of a lot of sweating, a lot of joy. I enjoy playing. I'm hoping that you benefit some, okay, and that you enjoy just a little bit here, okay. Have a good one, and it was just a pleasure to be able to play and share just a little, okay. You have a good one. I'll see you guys the next time around.